Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to this new video series on Muhammad, a critique. That's what we titled it. Today, we are going to focus on one of the 10 arguments that Dr. J listed for us last time. And this one has to do with the Muslim claims for Muhammad. And with us here in studio, of course, to discuss this is Dr. J Smith. Welcome back, Dr. J.
Good to be back again.
Of course, I'm a former Muslim, and I can guess about some of these arguments, but what areas you are going to focus on for this?
Well, for this episode, I'm going to talk about what you used to believe about Muhammad. So I'm going to look at the claims. You correct me if I'm wrong. So let's go to the slide, and let's look. It's going to be Muslim claims for Muhammad. As you know, as now that you've come out of Islam, they make him much bigger and much better than he ever was. That stands to reason. So Muhammad's biographies, when you look at his biography, there's about 1,500, over 1,500 biographies out there on just Muhammad, according to Hamade and also Royster. Some of the ones that I have read, one of the first ones I read was one by Karen Armstrong. This one I would not recommend you read. Karen Armstrong is a very angry Catholic nun who suddenly decided she was going to be a historian. And so she went back to the biography of what we call Ibn Hisham's biography. As we well know, there's not a word written by him, but she went back to that biography, and rather than just retell the story as Ibn Hisham does in Muhammad, the historical account, she sanitizes it.
Big time.
Big time.
Yeah.
And she says things like this: he is a man who gave birth to a literary masterpiece, created a major religion, and founded a world power, whose descendants are viewed as a profound threat to Western civilization. Right there, she's unpacking exactly her bias.
Yeah, and so, right there, probably she was showered with funds and money.
Exactly, and so she's done very well for herself because of that. So you can see that this is a very biased view, a very left-leaning view. It is I call a sanitized view, one of the worst that I've seen. And it's I can't say it's because of money. I can't say it could be that she just wanted very much this man to be the man of history. And so she took away his misogyny. There's no misogyny in any of his biography. She took away all of his violence and basically made him a man in her own image, what she would like Muhammad to have been, and then published it. And Muslims love it. It's one of their favorites. Therefore, stay away from it. That's not what we would call. Let's go back to the list. W. Montgomery Watt does a much better job. And what I like about Montgomery Watt, he takes, again, they're all taking Ibn Hisham's biography of Muhammad that supposedly was printed in or created in before 833, so the 9th century, nonetheless 200 years after Muhammad died. They take that biography, and what he did, he saw Muhammad both as a statesman and an administrator, and really pushes that side. The fact that he was such a good administrator, that he was able to do an awful lot of things that other men in his age could not do. He was head and shoulders, not only as a prophet on one hand, but became a first-class general, first-class administrator, first-class politician. In every other case, he became much more than what we give him credit for. So that's what he introduced into that discussion. Number 3 is Maxine Rodenson. Now, Maxine Rodenson saw Muhammad as the ideal, but as a utopia that has never been achieved and will always be for us. He says that, so he puts him out as an ideal for all people. Mm-hmm. Many Muslims who have read Maxine Rodenson love him because they say when you compare Muhammad of Maxine Rodenson's and you compare Jesus, we'd rather follow Muhammad because he's everything that we want. Jesus never got married, Muhammad did. Jesus never had children, Muhammad did. Jesus never led any people into battle, Muhammad did. Jesus never controlled any government, Muhammad did. All these things Muhammad did are so much more practical today. Mm-hmm. What did Jesus do? He spent 33 years and only 3 years are what we're supposed to follow. And all that time, he just was going through the desert with 12 men and talking platitudes. He's a good man, but it doesn't help us to know how to walk, talk, eat, drink, sleep. Muhammad tells us how to walk, talk, eat, drink, sleep. That's the man we want to follow. He really is the paradigm, the last prophet. That's why God sent him to earth. And Maxine Rodenson does that. Interestingly, however, halfway through the book, one of the editors never saw this or not, it's almost like he puts his pen down. And he says, I am absolutely fed up with this. Why am I wasting my time on this person? Almost contradicting what he had said earlier. Now, I have to be careful because that's the copy I have. I have now said this so many times. I'm wondering if those who are still printing Robinson's book, they probably have taken that out because it is a sense of frustration by Robinson himself. The next one I put up is Michael Cook. Michael Cook is from Britain. He's British. He worked with Dr. Patricia Corona. He was the one that actually co-wrote Hagerism. And he was also taught there at School of Oriental and African Studies from Wandsboro. He was one of his students. And he is the first one that started putting up and saying, hold on, there are problems with this.
He was one of the revisionists initially.
He's the revisionist, and he's very much into that camp. And that's why I like him, because he is the one that actually started saying, hold on, this is not historical. Much of what we know about this guy comes from much, much later. Mm-hmm. Should we really trust it? And that's why it's good to have Michael Cook. It's just a small book put out by Penguin Books. And so it's an easy read. You can do it in one afternoon. And then I'm going to end with Alfred Guillaume. And Alfred Guillaume, another British person who actually is the one that took what he thought was Ibn Hisham's material. As he says in the introduction, it's not Ibn Hisham's. It's actually Wostenfeld's material.
Right.
Written in the 1800s, 1858 to 1860. So we're talking about the 19th century. Taken from other manuscripts, and I'm going to get into that later on.
And this one is available online, by the way.
Oh, it's everywhere. You can see it anywhere.
Yeah.
You get it online. It's in PDF. This is the standard that everybody uses. In a sense, Alfred Guillaume's is the standard that I had to read, you had to read. If you go to any university, that's the standard. That is supposedly the original text. And when most people think about it, they assume that this...
Based on
Ibn Hisham, based on Ibn Ishaq.
Right.
So it says Ibn Ishaq on the cover. It's not Ibn Ishaq. It's Ibn Hisham, who, according to the introduction, he even said so, that Ibn Ishaq had students from which they derived it, and what they gave to Ibn Hisham is what they believed existed.
And I want you to emphasize, why is this important? Because some people will say, okay, well, Alfred was recording to us what Ibn Hisham says. But there is another problem. Do we have surviving manuscripts?
Hold on, you're jumping the gun on this
Well,
one.
I want people to know why this is important.
This is what this whole thing is about. This is what we're going to get into. I don't want you to give in to where we're going to go with this, because you're right. I'm going to really confront Alfred Guillaume, but not confront him as a person. I'm going to confront everything we know about what Alfred Guillaume assumed was true. And I'm going to show you why. But that's coming down. That's yet to come. So here we are. We've got these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 1,500. These are the 5 that I have read. These are the 5 that probably are the most important, because they are from completely 5 different perspectives. Be careful. Each has an agenda. Nonetheless, we need to know what they're saying, and beware of the bias of each one. We're going to go into that in the next episode. What I would like to do is now look at what the claims are from what these biographies say.
Right.
What are the claims Muslims now make based on these biographies?
And basically everything I grew up learning about the history of Islam as I knew it.
And I would suggest everybody that's watching, everything that they have known, everything that Muslims, everyone that you have known, everything that you know about Muhammad, that's what we're going to do next.
And I would argue, brother, that I met Christians who are also taking those claims with grain of salt and believing that that's really what the history of Islam is all about.
I would suggest that 99% of the people who are listening to us right now
have changed their mind about it.
No, not yet.
Oh, you mean like for this episode? Yeah.
I would suggest that they still believe that this is this biography. So we have yet to change their minds.
Right.
We're going to do it now.
Very good. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. This is Al Fadi. Over and out. God bless you. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. And ring the bell so you will be notified when we release new content. Our mission is to reach Muslims with the gospel of Jesus Christ and help Christians engage with their Muslim neighbors. If you want to join us in this life-changing work, please support us on patreon.com/CIRA International, or just click on the link below.